Hi, my name's Rhonda Mort, and I'm the Children's Librarian at Willard Library, and I'm here to explain to you what a special program that we have for the kids. And what this is we have little books that we're putting together, and the thing about these books is there are no illustrations and no text. So we want you to take these books home and fill them out with your own illustrations and your own text and bring them back. And then we will barcode them and we can put them on our shelves so that other people can read your stories. Thank you.
Well, welcome to Willard Library. My name is Miss Mindy and I'm going to be reading some books for you today. Now, when I show you these books, you're going to see that they are very well loved. These books belonged to my son when he was a little boy, and now they read them to their children, but they agreed, my grandchildren, Ted and Kate, agreed to lend them to me so that I could read them to you. Willard Library is going to be getting 2 new copies of both of these books, so if you enjoy them, you can come out and take them out in another week or 2. They should be here in the library for you to enjoy. I'm going to take off my mask because we're socially distanced here, but you still have to wear your mask to Willard Library. The first one is Harry and the Terrible Whatzit by Dick Gackenbach. And the second book is The Giant Jam Sandwich with story and pictures by John Vernon Lord and verses by Janet Burroway. I hope that you enjoyed them, and like I said, you can see that they're very well loved, and I hope that you love them as well. Harry and the Terrible Whatzit by Dick Gackenbach. I knew there was something terrible down in the cellar. I just knew it, because the cellar was dark and damp and it smelled. "Don't go down there," I told my mother. "Why?" she asked. "There is something terrible down there." "I have to go down in the cellar," she said. "We need a jar of pickles." She never believes me. I waited and waited and waited at the cellar door. She never came back up. Someone had to do something, so I took a broom and went down the cellar steps. It was very black and gloomy, and it smelled. "I know there is something here," I called out. "What did you do with my mother?" Then I saw it. A double-headed, 3-clawed, 6-toed, long-horned Whatzit. He was hiding behind the furnace. "Where is my mother?" I asked it. "The last time I saw your mother," the Whatzit said, "she was over by the pickle jars, runt." I was sure the Whatzit was lying. "What did you do with her?" I shouted, and I gave it a swat with the broom. Wham! That made the Whatzit really mad, and it came after me. I swung the broom again. Wham! The Whatzit didn't like that at all. It climbed up on the washer, and I hit it right where it sits down. I noticed the Whatzit was getting smaller, and when I pulled its tail, it got even smaller. Now the Whatzit was down to my size. "Okay, you better tell me what you did with my mother," I said, "or else." "Kid, you're crazy," the Whatzit answered. One of the heads made a face at me. Just for that, I twisted a nose, and the Whatzit shrank some more. "Why are you getting smaller?" I asked. "Because you aren't afraid of me anymore," the Whatzit said. "That always happens just when I'm beginning to feel at home in a closet or a cellar." The Whatzit looked very sad. The Whatzit got smaller and smaller and smaller. Just when it was about the size of a peanut, I called out, "Try Sheldon Parker's cellar next door. He's afraid of everything." "Thanks," I heard it say. Then the Whatzit was gone. The Whatzit disappeared before it could tell me what it had done to my mother. I looked in the washer. She was not there. I looked behind some books. My mother was not there either. I looked inside the wood bin. No mother there. I was very worried. Then I found her glasses beside the pickle jars. What had happened to the rest of her? I was searching for more clues when I discovered the back cellar door was open. I looked outside, and there, in the bright sunlight, was my mother picking flowers. Boy, was I glad to see her. "I found your glasses in the cellar," I said. "Thank you, Harry," she said, "but I thought you were afraid of the cellar." "Not any more," I answered. "The terrible Whatzit is gone. I chased it away with the broom." "Well," she said, "I never saw a Whatzit down there." She never believes me. I helped her carry the pickles into the kitchen, where she gave me some milk and cookies. "You know what, Harry," my mother said, "I will never worry about a Whatzit as long as you're around." Maybe she did believe me. Later, I heard an awful yell coming from the house next door. I'll bet Sheldon looked in the cellar. Ah! The Whatzit had better watch out for Harry. The Giant Jam Sandwich, story and pictures by John Vernon Lord, with verses by Janet Burroway. And again, this is another very loved book that might have some pages taped together that belonged to my son when he was a boy, and now they read it to my grandchildren, Kate and Ted. For Alexander and Jonathan. One hot summer in Itching Downs, 4 million wasps flew into town. They drove the picnickers away. They chased farmers from their hay. They stung Lord Swell on his fat, bald pate. They dived and hummed and buzzed and ate. And the noisy, nasty nuisance grew till the villagers cried, "What can we do?" So they called a meeting in the village hall, and Mayor Muddlenut asked them all, "What can we do?" And they said, "Good question," but nobody had a good suggestion. Then Bap the baker leaped to his feet and cried, "What do wasps like best to eat?" "Strawberry jam." "Now wait a minute. If we made a giant sandwich, we could trap them in it." The gentleman cheered, the lady squealed, and Farmer Seed said, "Use my field." Bap gave instructions for the mixing of the dough. Mix flour from above and yeast from below. Salt from the seaside, water from the spout. Now thump it, bump it, bang it about. While they were working and working hard, some more were making a tablecloth out in the yard. When they were done and the dough was left to rise till the loaf was a mountain in shape and size, they hitched it up with a bit of fuss to tractors, cars, and the village bus, and took it to the oven they had made on the hill, 50 cookers in an old brick mill. For hours and hours they let it cook. It swelled inside till the window shook. It was piping hot when they took it out, and the villagers raised a mighty shout. "Isn't it crusty? Aren't we clever?" But the wasps were just as bad as ever. The loaf was left to cool, and then the people watched while 6 strong men took a great big saw and sliced right through. Everybody clapped, and they cut slice too. The village bus, they all agreed, would boil the fields of Farmer Seed, so 8 fine horses pulled the bread to where the picnic cloth was spread. A truck drew up and dumped out butter, and they spread it out with a flap and a flutter. Spoons and spades, slap and slam, and they did the same with the strawberry jam. Meanwhile, high above the field, 6 flying machines whirled and wheeled, ready for the wasps to take the bait. And then there was nothing to do but wait. Suddenly the sky was humming. All 4 million wasps were coming. They smelled that jam. They dived and struck. and they ate so much they all got stuck. The other slice came down kersplat on top of the wasps, and that was that. There was only 3 that got away, and where they are now, I cannot say. But they never came back to Itching Down, which is not a waspish sort of town, but a very nice place to dance and play, and that's what the villagers did that day. What became of the sandwich? Well, in Itching Down they like to tell how the birds flew off with it in their beaks and had a feast for 100 weeks. And again, very well-loved book, but the library is ordering 2 new books. They're ordering The Giant Jam Sandwich and Harry and the Terrible Whatzit, so if you enjoyed these stories, you can take them out in another week or 2. Thank you for listening.
Ask us about our learning packs, where you will get a game that is a certain topic. We have 7 to choose from, and then 4 or 5 books that we pick out to go along with it. It's aimed for kids 3 to 6 for you to take home and enjoy.
This is Rhonda Mort for Willard Library, and I just wanted to remind everybody that we're being super clean here at the library, and you should be super clean at home. You know that you could never wash your hands enough. I want to show you the 4 stages of washing your hands with Elmo. The first stage that Elmo does is he runs his hands under running water. And then he uses soap. And he washes the inside of his hands and the outside of his hands and in between his fingers. Number 3, you rinse your hands under the running water. And number 4, you dry your hands with a clean towel. We always wash our hands here at Willard, and I never seem to wash my hands less than at least 6 or 7 times a day.